Hey guys, and welcome back to Questionable Scale Modeling. So in the last video I said that I would be right back after some yard work. Well, about that. So I actually recorded that about 4 weeks ago and then uploaded it about, well, last weekend. Then life got in the way after the yard work and I just kind of got busy. So I did some putty work and scribed some panel lines last weekend and got all that recorded. And so I'm doing an intro in front of that. Uh, and going through the footage, I'm still having an issue with getting off camera or putting my light in the camera. So just bear with me. Things will get better. And of course, there's always going to be dogs in the background making noise. So sorry about that too. Anyway, hope you like it. Thanks. And welcome back. So I lied. In the last little segment, I said that I'd be back in about an hour or so after doing some yard work, and that turned into 2 whole weeks of getting really busy. So anyway, we're back, and we're going to fill some seams. We've got the hood scoop, or the engine scoop rather, air scoop, is mounted. It's permanently glued. It's been glued for, well, several weeks now. So these lines run here and here and right there. Those all need to be filled. And to do that, we're going to make noodles out of 2-part Tamiya epoxy filler. Now this technique is not mine. This I got from a very good builder named Night Shift, who does mostly armor. I think that's all he does, really. Armor and dioramas. Very good channel, worth looking up. So I've never actually attempted to do the noodles myself, but we're going to give it a try. So grab my knife, and we're going to cut a couple of even squares of the epoxy. I'll try to do that on camera. Well, see if I can get it off of there. That's not working. There. There's half of it. This stuff is very tacky. And it likes to just stick to this backing plastic. There, that looks like 2 even amounts. So now we're just going to rub them together. Knead it, kind of like dough. So we get a nice consistency. I also have a little bowl of water. We're going to use that to keep it moist. And I'm going to grab a brush, because we're going to get a brush and 2 pieces of styrene to make the noodles with. And plenty of water to keep it moist enough to where it doesn't stick to everything, like it's trying to do with my fingers. Alright, I think we've got a nice mix. I can't remember how long we have to work with this stuff, but I'm quite sure we have enough time. So according to night shift, we're going to sit this ball right there. I'm going to dunk it in some water, get it nice and moist. And then we're just going to very gently roll it. Into a noodle like that, except we're going to make them really, really skinny. We don't want them too much bigger than the seam we're trying to fill. And in case anybody's wondering, what night shift uses the noodles for is to make weld seams on tanks, because most of that stuff was held together by welds. And he does a pretty damn good job of doing it. And we are definitely going to have more than we need, because as you can see, I'm making a very long noodle. So I think what I'm going to do is cut a little section there. We'll move all this over here. Bring this section this way and roll that out. Look at that noodle. I think that is a perfect size right there. So add some more water to it. Now, I'm not sure the length, because I didn't measure it, of course. Just a little longer. I think that should do. Up. Drop my noodle. Come on. I don't want to use my finger because my finger's not wet. Right. There. Good idea. Let's wet our model. Now, put our noodle in place. Like so. And I'm going to need the optimizer to see what I'm doing. I'm just going to gently nudge it into place. Like so. Then we're going to grab a silicone brush. Get it wet, and we're going to mash it into place. Oops. Cut off the line a little bit. Come on up. That's a little too short. Okay, maybe a different one. Let's try this. Kind of crude looking, but I think that will work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of it done off camera. I think you saw enough of it. So I'll be right back. And we're back again. So we've got our scoop has all its filler put on. Let's see if I can get the glare. I put a little bit on the top here as well because it had a little bit of recessed line on it. So it's good enough for now. Like it will sand out. So then the next thing that we're going to do before final sanding is the panel lines. So on the driver's side, well, driver's in the middle, but on the left side of the car, I've already done all the scribing for the panel lines here. If I can get this glare to come off. Oh, that didn't help. So on the very bottom, let's see if I can get a good angle. Come on. Let me move the camera or to that side. Let's see. There. So there's a line right here, runs all the way down the bottom under the door. Now that is a very faint, is actually a raised panel line to denote where you're going to paint black. But when we do final sanding, we're going to shave that completely off with sandpaper because it's very faint. But the reason you can see it here is because I actually took my scriber and scribed it out to where it's more permanent and it'll make a much easier line to follow with tape when we go to paint that trim, because this is all supposed to be black. So on this side, it's very faint. You may or may not be able to see it running down. So what we're going to do is we have to put a real heavy duty, a nice smooth edge tape right along that edge to scribe it. And for that, I'm going to use this vinyl tape for my Cricut or my silhouette cutter, because it provides a nice thick smooth surface for that scriber to run alongside. So we're going to peel the backing off of here. And this takes very light touch with the scriber because we do not want to get off that line. There. Now I have to get my optivisor on because I can't see the line either. Alright, so we need a nice straight edge. And we're not going to do the whole line all at once. We're going to do it in segments. Very important that we place this exactly where we want it. I don't like that edge. Let's try that side. And if it's not a straight edge, you won't end up with a straight line. There. Right. Perfect. There. And again, we're going to do this now because once we sand our body before primer, that line will just go away. And we need that line for masking purposes. So now, grab our scriber, which this is the Tamiya engraving tool with a 0.2 tip, a 0.2 millimeter tip. And no pressure. We're just going to follow that tape line. Just like that. I kind of keep getting off on the edge here, but I'm also trying to do this while you can see it. There. And just keep making passes, making sure to clean your tip. If you've ever built an older airplane kit, then you know what a raised panel line looks like, because they end up dealing with those all the time in that genre. Once we get to a certain point, we can take the tape off. Then we can really go at it. And that's probably good enough. Maybe a couple more passes just to clean the groove out. So then we'll do the next section. And I'm going to use a different part of the tape, just in case we messed up our line, because we want the tape to be, we don't want any imperfections on that line, because if there are any, our etcher will jump it. So make sure we're still over here. Good. Yep, that looks good. Now, need our tip off. Nice and easy. Come on. It's trying to jump out. Oh, we just got out of our line. So that'll have to be sanded and filled. Luckily, this is, from what I can tell from my reference photos, this is no more than just a piece of rubber trim or something. So I don't think it has to be too precise, and it's going to be painted black, so I don't think it's going to be too noticeable. Alright, that's good enough for now. Now we'll work on another section. That is not straight. That was my best one yet. So now, this last section, oh, let me get back into camera view. This last little section has a curve to it. And that, we're just going to have to do the best we can inside that area. I need a toothpick. I don't think that's going to stay in there. but it doesn't really have to. There. Oop. It's a little too high. Come on. Get in there. Let's see what happens. Nope. Keeps lifting out of that area. So we need another. You know what? Let's just try, since it's a real small area, we're just gonna try some tape and be very careful. Oh, sorry about that. I got my, that's what happens when you do this with on the fly. Sometimes stuff gets in the way of the camera. Or I just get out of camera. There. I think we'll make this work. May not be the straightest line this time with the tape, but we'll make it work. Now let's see how bad that looks. This needs a little cleanup. The true test will be when we put primer on. This primer shows all the flaws. That's why we use primer, so we can find our flaws. There. I think I'm going to call that good. Now we just got to go through and do the rest of the panel lines while we're here. And that is easy. It's a nice big line. Get this one again. And I'm out of camera again. Sorry about that, guys. I am very new at this. Normally I would be listening to music right now, but don't want to set off any copyright alarms. And you may or may not like my choice of music. There, that one's good. Almost done. Door panel to do. Last thing to do is clean the grooves out, which they don't have to be too clean because we're going to fill them with primer and all sorts of stuff before we're done. And we're going to sand. So we're going to have to clean them out again anyway. Get these a little wider, I think. Sometimes these engravers and such will leave little tiny imperfections on the groove that you kind of have to run your scriber at an angle to cut them off. Or, as some people do, they'll actually chase the line with a little Tamiya extra thin, kind of clean everything out. I think that's going to do it. Alright, so the other side was already done yesterday, and I'm off camera again. So that side's done. This side we just did. So now we can sand this thing and get ready for primer. So with that said, next time I see you, we'll be sanding this and getting ready for primer. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching.